Hi and welcome back to C1Risk training. Today we're going to show you how to add a unique evidence record to the C1Risk platform. So as you know, we can bulk upload evidence from your PBC list or IRL using a CSV template. But if you need to add any additional evidence to the platform, you can do that very easily in the platform itself. So let's show you how we do that. Okay, so here we are in the platform and I'm going to go to the evidence section. You can see we've got a few records in here already. So we're going to add a new one today. So we're just going to come up to the functionality buttons, click add new, and then we'll add the name of our, what we're actually looking for today. So we're going to be collecting an acceptable use policy. So the name and then next the description are quite important because this is what the evidence owner is going to see. So a notification will go out to the evidence owner to provide this evidence. So putting in a description for them that's detailed enough so that they understand what they have to upload or provide you is very, very important. However, we're also going to automate this control so that it moves forward at the cadence that you want it to after you've established this record. So we want automation so you don't have to keep coming in and editing this. So again, putting in things like dates, so we need the 2022 policy, for example, is something you should avoid because obviously in the next year, you want the 2023 policy and so on and so forth. So think about your description as something that is detailed enough that it's easy to understand, but steer clear of point in time references because obviously with that automation, we want this just to roll forward. Okay, great. So we're going to put our description in. And then note we have a couple of options here. You can connect an asset if you want to do asset-based compliance. That's very simple here in the C1Risk platform. So you just click lookup and you can apply your asset. You also have the option to add a new asset, and then that will create an asset for you in the asset section. Similarly, we can also either create a new internal control or we can map our existing internal controls. And here we can do multiples and just apply. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to establish the evidence start and end date. Okay, so the evidence start date is basically refers to the period within which the evidence needs to be created. So generally, an auditor will say they need to see something that has been created after this date. So that might be rolling back sort of 6 to 12 months before your audit. But it has to be a document that is the most recent version of the document that you have in place, right? So we set that period. We give you that option to set this period. So you can say it has to be at least created before, in this case, January 1, 2022. We're doing a 2022 audit here. And then the end date is going to be the date that the notification is sent out. So this is when the evidence owner will receive the notification. So it's really important to think about this. So this date, we actually have a training on this date that I recommend that you watch called How to Launch Evidence Request. But just bear in mind again that this date is when the notification will go out. So you want it to be in time for you to receive the evidence in a time period for you to receive the evidence, validate it, potentially do internal audit, and be ready to go. So this is not this date is not something to schedule during your actual audit. You want to get that evidence before your audit in sufficient time to validate it. So think about when you need to set the date based upon that. So we're going to set this. We're going to say we're going to do a November audit. So we're going to set this for this notification to go out on October 1st. Next, we can set the frequency. And so this is where we're establishing automation. So based upon how often we want to see this, in this case, we'll just do annually because it's a policy. If it's quarterly or whatever, you can set the cadence here. And based upon this cadence that you set here, once the first notification goes out, these evidence start dates and end dates are going to update automatically. So in this case, this will go to January 1, 2023 to October 1, 2023. If this were monthly, they would move forward. If this were monthly, they would move forward 1 month. If they were quarterly, they would move forward 3 months, so on and so forth. And this way, once you've done this, You never have to come in and set this notification again. The system is now going to take over and it will send out a document request to the evidence owner based upon that cadence you describe. Next, we want to give them an amount of time to provide the documentation. And then we can select the evidence owner. We can select multiple evidence owners, so we can give multiple people the possibility to upload this evidence if we want to. And then finally, we want to set an approval process. So if you want to view the document and validate it once it comes in and have the option to reject it and reopen the document request, we want to set this approval rule. And we have a couple of different options of how we do that. And so we can just set one person to approve. We can also have a number of different people approving, but in no specific order, or multiple people approving in order. If you choose that latter one, multiple people approving in order, then the system will send notifications based upon this order here. So first, Lily will get a review notice, then Stuart, then Daniel. Okay. Now, if you don't set this review before you send out the document request, you cannot go back and then set the review. So it's very important to do this when you're setting up the evidence record in the first place. Okay, so just something to bear in mind. Once the document request has gone out, if there's no review process attached to it, you will not be able to go in and review and approve that document and create that audit trail. All right, so once we've done that, we just click save. And now what's going to happen on October 1st, as you see, this document request will go out. Note that we can also do this manually, but if we do send this out now on September 27th, the evidence start date and end dates will adjust based on September 27th, so they will update. So if we want to send this out manually, we can. And now that document request has gone out, and that will send out a notification to your evidence owner to upload the evidence. So that concludes our training for today. Thank you very much.